Welcome to another amazing episode in the Breakthrough Lounge. You're sitting here with your host, your author, your speaker, and your transformational coach, Miss Lonnie Grant. That's me. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Voxwave Radio, Reggie Bridge, and Mr. Ron himself, our fabulous engineer. So you guys, we have a fabulous show today. As always, every week in the Breakthrough Lounge, we either have myself or we have an amazing guest that's doing phenomenal work in the community. So I want to send some huge shout outs because, of course, this is Women's Month. It's still our month, but it's every day, you guys. They just didn't tell us. It's every day. So I want to send a huge shout out to one of my dance kids. This weekend, I went to her paint and sip. She had a fundraiser to raise funds for her national dance competition. And we made this beautiful young lady. Ain't she beautiful?
She is.
She's amazing. And one of the things I really love about these paint parties, you can kind of be your own person. You know, even though they give you like this image to kind of trace. And I was like, no. I want to put some earrings on her. I want to bling her. And then I just taking the paint and then everybody was like, oh my goodness, let me do this, you know? And it's so crazy at paint parties how people, I notice, they get the directions and they'll keep trying to look at the original. And it went to just show me how you can never copy the original.
Come on, you better teach that.
You can never copy the original.
Yes.
As much as she told us to take a picture of it, sit it by your painting. None of us, if you went around, nobody could get it. We was trying to figure out how she blended the breast part. Like, we was just trying to figure out everything. And you guys, and that lesson was, it does not matter how many people do what you do or think that they're trying to copy your content, they're trying to copy your business. They're not going to be able to do it. I promise you. They won't be able to do it.
And what you have in you is enough.
It's just enough.
I love that.
And just enough, and just thanking God, like, you know what? You gave me my DNA for a reason.
That's right.
So who am I to be getting distracted by, you know, things that's you didn't give me. You didn't give me that. So let me just be grateful for the art that I was able to do.
How about
and just
it?
honor that and not worry about what everybody else is doing. So you guys, that's what I, you know, got from this weekend. Is just like, kind of mind your own business kind of
I love her. She is fly.
I live, and then everybody was like, how did you get these little checker boxes like that? I was like, because I was in my own lane, and I in my own lane, and I started, you know, and when you're not free and you're not healed, you tend to be all over the place, and that's some stuff we're going to talk about tonight about healing and what it looks like to properly heal.
Yes.
And know that you know, in your healing process and not all over the place. So tonight I'm just excited. So, you know, we got to get right into the juice.
Let's do it.
Get right into the juice. So as you see this phenomenal queen that's just sitting beside me, she's phenomenal. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's a breakthrough specialist. She's breaking lives.
I like it.
And oh my God, because it's not too many people who's tapping into the arena of healing. You know, we hear a lot of mental health, and sometimes certain words can discourage, you know, people to actually say,
take action.
I want to take action. So, did I put it in there. Oh, it fell off. I'm sorry, y'all. Who is that? You know what? It fell off, y'all. It's all good. Like, why is it not? Oh, yeah, we got him.
All right.
So, you guys, I just want to introduce our phenomenal guest, Miss Thema Azize. I hope I said it. I said it good. Thema Azize. Don't that just sound blessing? That just sound like, oh my gosh, she got anointing all over her. She's about to come through and just bring y'all something like y'all never just had before. So just tell them like all this phenomenal juice you got, because you flowing, girl. You flowing.
First off, let me say, I just love and adore you. You are a force to be reckoned with. And from the moment I met you, I felt like our spirits already knew each other. You know, I was like, it was so funny because if you remember, I was like, let's be friends on Facebook. And then we looked and we already were.
We were already friends.
To this day, I don't even know how that happened.
At all. We met at a women's conference down at the convention center. So you see how when you go in positive places,
you got to know what rooms to be in.
You got to know what rooms to be in.
So I am Thema Azize Serwa. Thank you for letting me in your house. Shout out to Vox. Thank you for letting me in your house. I teach women how to heal everything. Heal everything. I'm the founder of the company, The Womb Sauna. And the way we teach women how to be empowered is through the sacred art of vaginal steaming. Ow, I bet you I got everybody's attention.
Ow, did you get into the V word, that V, that vaginal?
Yes, and it changed my life, really. You know, I am not the kind of person that can vouch for anything that I haven't experienced for myself. When I was in my 20s, doctors said I would never conceive on my own, that I needed to get my money together and get in vitro fertilization if I ever wanted to have a baby. And then I started doing my own work, because when they said it, it didn't hit my spirit. So if you're listening and there are things being said about you or to you, just know that it requires your agreement to take root.
Wow.
And I grew up in a family of women who are ministers, leaders, and I had a praying grandmother.
Come on now.
And so there's been a lot of things spoken over my grandmother's grandchildren and children, but we have to agree with it for it to take root. I did not agree with my doctors. My perspective was, you don't know me or my God. And I took an alternative path to trying to get educated about what was happening in my body. And it led me to a book called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. Big ups to Queen Afua. It's like the Bible for Black feminine health. Would you agree, Lonnie?
Yes.
It's such a powerful read. And I started going through that journey. It's the kind of book that you read with a community of women. And we were taking this journey together, and there was one sentence that talked about steaming the womb with herbs. I had no idea what that was. And I'm joking with my friends that most of them were in Atlanta. I said, when I get down there, y'all are going to steam my womb with herbs. And they was like, girl, we love you, but I ain't doing nothing with you. You know, it's like a little joke. But then they surprised me. They took me to a Korean spa down in Atlanta. And I remember at that point, I had not had my cycle in over a year. And I was having pain in my womb. It felt like somebody was taking a sword and stabbing me in my ovaries. It was very painful. And this petite Asian woman came to me and she said, I got something for you. Sometimes you got to do crazy things that you've never thought about doing to break through. I had to get butt naked, sit down with this Asian woman on this pot of herbs. Other people were in the room. I didn't know none of them, but something in my spirit knew that this is going to be a defining moment in your life.
Wow.
After 20 minutes of receiving the treatment, my womb responded, and my life was never the same.
Wow.
So here I am. This August will make 8 years since I launched my company, The Womb Sauna. We're in 9 different countries. I've personally held sacred space for over 1,000 women. Every week we reach over 100,000 people with our message to heal everything. You can't tell me that God is not real.
He is.
And in the midst of all of the odds being stacked against me, if you looked at my medical file, the doctor's perspective was valid. Nothing in my body said I could conceive, and my daughter will be 4 years old this year.
Come on now.
And I didn't take their path. I took the path of my spirit. You got to learn how to listen and tune in and step outside of your box so that you can break through. That's what we're here to talk about,
That's
breaking
it.
through. There is no healing if you don't really know who you are and the power that God has put inside of you. And so when I'm working with women and they get on the pot and they disrobe and, you know, they get vulnerable, because it's a vulnerable treatment.
It is.
I only service women one-on-one for that reason, unless we have enough practitioners to hold space for each person. You know, when you're doing something like this, you're tapping into your birthing vessel. For the ladies listening, your womb is a cosmic portal. Think about it. We birth the most powerful thing on the planet, another human being.
Another human.
You create personality in your womb.
Yes.
Brain matter.
My God.
A whole
Energy.
skeletal system. You know, and you
Just-
telling me you can't pay your cable bill?
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. Something is not connecting correctly if you got all this power as a woman and you don't know how to yield it. And so that's the nature of my work. I hold the space for women. I teach them. We just had a powerful womb meditation class yesterday talking about cultivating authentic sisterhood. I teach people about energy medicine and what to have in your self-care toolkit so that when you find yourself not moving harmoniously between your mind, your body, and your spirit, you know what to do.
Yeah.
You know how
Because
to
so many times we do get triggered.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
things come up and we find ourselves back in that wilderness season, and it's like, okay, God, how did I get here? Again, it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But how do you handle it when it comes back? What and you know, that's a good point
that's
you made.
That's a good question. What do you do? You can't control what life brings to your door.
Right.
You know, and the reality is most of the women that I work with have deep-rooted traumas, sexual traumas, stories about domestic abuse, all kinds of things that were designed to break your spirit. But what my gift is and my calling is to remind women of who they are When I introduce myself, I often introduce myself as raw, unapologetic power. I got a lot of degrees. I got a lot of things on my resume I could run down, but none of it is truly relevant. All that really matters is, do you know who you are in your core?
That's it.
And can you live from that truth?
Yeah.
And if you're not able to do that, you're never going to be fulfilled. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you get features and Essence and you get on TV and you can boast about all of those external validations. But if you can't sit with yourself and be at peace, then what's the point?
That's the point. And we find that a lot in our community, especially being entrepreneurs where, you know, we have the social media where everybody can look.
Oh, you can make it look real nice.
It just looks so nice.
You can make it look real nice. All you need is a good headshot.
Yes.
And you can get a good headshot on Groupon for $16.
Okay.
So all it
you
takes
can
is
go
a good
in
headshot.
Greenbelt Mall.
Hello?
And get you a good headshot.
Okay.
But what's going on in the inside, and why are you not being authentic with yourself to forgive yourself and, you know, let yourself off the hook so that you can be free?
Yeah, I think it's generational on some level too, because
it's big on generational.
You know, a lot of people come from families where you have secrets.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can be sitting there beefing with your cousin, but everybody gonna sit down at the Thanksgiving table like we good.
And that's what we known by, right? The cookouts, the big, large gatherings.
Yes.
You know, this person just did this, and you know this person might have just molested this person. Yeah. But it's hush hush.
But ain't nobody talking about it.
And you learn to
secret fester.
Oh yeah.
See, you know, you were in your grandmother's womb when you were in your mother's womb. So we got 7 years behind and before us of healing work to do. So we get all these imprints before we even get here. Then we get here and society says, well, if your hair don't look a certain way, your waistline don't look a certain way, you don't look, then you're not really beautiful. So you get all these cultural imprints. So I applaud the women who are courageous enough to really listen to shows like this, connect with you, connect with me, and say, you know what, even though the odds have been stacked against me, I'm not going to be that stereotype. I'm not going to be that statistic. I'm going to heal everything.
Everything. That's why I love because your page on Facebook is come to the top of my list.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I put it on.
I'm so grateful.
I put notifications on.
See first.
So soon as I wake up, when I log into Facebook, that's the first thing that I see. I'm like, yes, heal everything. Not just the brain, not just the arm, not just the neck, not just your vagina. Heal everything. Because everything needs to be healed. And I think some people, and I know for myself, being honest, I didn't know I need healing.
Oh, yeah. You know, we teach God what we need to wake up, right? You teach God what you require to wake up. And too often we get complacent and being mediocre in different ways and just winging it because we're so talented. You know, especially melanated people, we're magical, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we can pull things together. We can wing it and make it look beautiful and make it look impactful. But at the end of the day, your body is keeping score.
Say it again.
Your body is keeping score.
Yes.
Your body is being obedient to your consciousness. And so at some point, something needs to break down for you to wake up. But you can alter that if you just be in the practice of waking yourself up. And you can do things like meditation and prayer and chanting and spiritual baths and detoxing and going to the spa and getting a massage. You can do things to find out where things are stuck within you. I'll never forget, one of my good friends does private yoga instruction, and I hired her to just come to my house and teach me this yoga. She put me in this position, and to this day, I can't remember what it was, but it was something that opened my chest really wide, and I burst into tears. I didn't even know what was happening in my body that was storing that emotion. And I just cried, and she just walked me through some deep breaths, and she said, let's take a moment to talk about where it hurts. That's something we did yesterday in the class. I lined the women up. I said, tap over your sister's heart and ask her, tell me where it hurts. Tell me where it hurts. And I had the women have this powerful exchange where when you trust yourself, you can trust other people.
Yeah.
And so what's keeping you from being authentic?
Wow. I think it's a lot of shame and embarrassment or what the people may think. And it's like, but who cares?
At what point do you choose what you need?
Yeah.
Because the only way we can really heal collectively as a community is if we have whole people coming together. You got a bunch of broken people coming together, you get a pile of broken pieces.
Yeah.
And hurt people will hurt people. So we have to learn how to do our work, and it doesn't have to be, very dramatic or too hard. One key decision at a time. You're one decision away from a breakthrough.
That's it, you guys. So I want y'all to call in because this discussion is super deep. 240-719-2560. Call in because this is, last week we talked a lot about mental health and the different resources, but I know for me, I had gone to therapy for years and years, and it was until I found this particular sister who was a life coach and just what she gave me, and just even thinking about when you said that yoga pose and how that it just opened you up. And I remember taking a spiritual bath, and I'm like, it's just Himalayan salt.
So it appears, right?
It appears. And I remember getting in that tub, and I'm like, I feel like something woke me up. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, wow, what happened? And I was just sitting there, and it was like I was stuck.
But what's so amazing about that is science is finally catching up to what our ancestors already knew. Right? So Dr. Emoto did a study showing that if you speak over water, you can change its molecular structure.
Wow.
Right? So we think when our uncles and our grandpas was baptizing folks in the church that it was not an actual rebirth. No, when you put your afoshe, your words of power, into things, you are one of the most powerful things God created on this planet. We have dominion. We have authority.
Yeah.
So we can literally change matter. I know we look at the Matrix and all that stuff and think it ain't real, but they've been giving us clues.
Clues, yeah.
And so now in the study of science, they're starting to discover that everything is energy, and that if you learn what to do with energy, then you can change things. You can change your environment. But I knew that just being in my grandmother's house and watching her pray and sing. All of a sudden the atmosphere would change. So those of us who are people of faith, we've known this, we just didn't know what to call it. So that spiritual bath was real for you.
It was real. And then, it helped me just knowing some other things to do in my toolbox, which I would call it. Every time I would kind of go through something, I'm like, okay, what's in my toolbox? Get my candles out, my salt,
my journal,
and those are the type of things that help me. And I know I get women now that always ask me, like, well, how did you know you needed healing? Do a lot of people ask you that?
That's a good question. I don't get asked that. What I get asked is mostly about how do I see where they are.
Okay.
Because they're so surprised that I can see what they don't show the world.
Yeah.
So I was laughing with one of my good friends yesterday. She said, Thema, I'll never forget our first session together. I thought I was going to come in there, maybe sip on some wine and have this nice little steam with you. She said, I get through your doors and you're like, good, we're going to work on your heart. And I was like, who is this girl? She is so off already. Because she's like, that's not what I came for. I came for this steam and for this rejuvenation. But I looked her in her eye and I said, you need to heal your heart. And from this day, we haven't been able to part. And she was able to do just that. So when it comes to answering the question of how do I know that I need healing, everything that's inside of you is reflected in your life. So if you're not living the life of your dreams, something needs to be worked on. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, but earth is class. And we all come here to have this class called being human.
That's it.
But the goal, the way you ace this class, is you recognize that God is in you.
That's it.
And that you can tap into God whenever you need to alter what you don't like about your life.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us choose to do the work and some of us don't.
Because it's a hard thing. I tell
it's
people.
It's not easy.
It's, you got to go back and relive to the root. And some people just don't want to go and deal. You know, I've even had people when they ask me about my book and they're like, you know, how did you do it? And knowing that people are still alive or they're your family members. I said, I just wanted to be free. It wasn't,
talk about it.
It just wasn't about anybody anymore. I knew that I had children who was counting on me.
Come on.
And I'm like, if I don't do this work, they're going to pay the price.
Cycle continues.
It continues. And I'm like, something is off here. I need to figure out, why am I so angry? Why I start something and don't finish it.
Come on.
There's a reason for that. I can make up all the excuses in the world and say, well, Lonnie, that just wasn't for you. How long you going to keep saying that? No, that's an excuse. Something happened. And you need to be able to go back and say, where did the trauma start of this stopping and making excuses, playing victim over here, playing. And I didn't realize it until I start to go back. And I'm like, that's when that happened.
And how you go back matters.
Oh, my.
Because sometimes we go back and we do it with a lot of self-judgment. But I teach women to have deep compassion for themselves, because when you have been traumatized, depending on the nature of your trauma, it alters how you were when you were in your mother's womb. You'll never be the same. When somebody touched you, violated you, that changed your brain.
The whole brain.
You know, and so sometimes we go back and we're hard on ourselves. We feel responsible for things we're not responsible for. And then it gets so overwhelming emotionally that we get stuck.
And then you stop the process.
Exactly. So that's what I love about the work I do, because, you know, we don't set a timer and leave women alone. I know how the subconscious mind works. There are certain places you are not going to take yourself. Nor is it your responsibility. You are not godless. Nor are you sisterless or brotherless. There is a whole divine plan set up in motion for your healing. So by the time I come into people's lives, I'm usually the interrupter. That's my anointing.
Yep.
I'm going to come in and uproot it and put it in your face.
Come on now.
And bring you to a crossroad and say, what is your decision? Are we choosing healing, or are we choosing to stay the same?
Okay.
But I do it in such a nurturing way.
It's
that
energy.
women are like, I just want to heal. So let's just do this.
Please
work.
heal me, take me, Jesus.
Yeah, certain wounds need a witness. There's certain things you've been through that you just sometimes need to talk out, breathe out. Just have somebody hold you, wipe your tears. Don't be afraid to receive that, and don't let whatever you've gone through in your life convince you that you're not lovable.
Right.
Because you really are.
Because you are. But somewhere down the line, because of the trauma that took place, you tapped out.
I literally, Lonnie, had to set myself up to be healed. And by that, I mean, I have like 10 people on my self-care team. If they don't hear from me from a certain period of time, my phone is blowing up. My assistant and my friend got a key to my house. When I went into last year was when I entered into being a single mother. That was never part of my visional plan. And that activated in me the experience of functional depression. When I went into my dark space, I would come home from work and she'd be sitting on the couch like, yeah, you ain't been calling me back. What's good? You know, she would find me. But why was she able to find me? Because I knew enough about myself to know you got to be rigorously honest and fully transparent and put people in your life who ride or die for you in a way that if you get lost in trying to heal yourself, they'll find you.
They'll find you.
They'll find you.
That is so important.
So I have a therapist. Please, if you've gone through trauma, get a mental health person on your team. Go to either psychologytoday.com or what's the new one the sister put? Black therapy for girls or something. Oh, Lord help me. There's a sister who's built a directory of mental health professionals for Black
Wow.
women. I'll post that when we recirculate this.
Okay.
Go on there and interview. Find somebody that aligns with your values. So if you start talking about Reiki and crystals and stuff, they don't think you're crazy, you know?
Right.
Find somebody that's a holistic therapist. People don't know that that's an option.
That's an option. Yeah.
Get an acupuncturist. Get a massage therapist. Get body work done, especially for those of you who've had violations to your body. Let somebody replace the violating touch with healing touch.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I like the whole vaginal steam idea. When I first met you and you told me about it and I started researching it on your page, I was like, this is deep. And then I started to see other people do it. And I'm like, I noticed that it wasn't authentic. It was starting to become a trend.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, you guys, we got to be careful, because this is supposed to be a sacred.
It is very sacred.
It's very sacred. You got people's lives in your hand that you're teaching them how to just release from the wound, and you're doing it just to say, "Oh, it's the
I've
end
seen
thing."
some things that have made me cringe at my computer.
Oh,
Because when I
yeah.
got started with this work, it wasn't on the internet.
Oh no, you didn't
It
hear
wasn't
about
on
this.
the internet. It wasn't on reality TV. So I was pioneering, and God called me to lead in my industry. But when I started seeing stripper pose and popping and twerking over the pot, now you know I love a twerk. My mantra is a twerk a day keeps the stress away. However, there's a time and season
for that
and place for everything, and so I celebrate that there's more awareness about vaginal steaming, but it is not just receiving the herbs. And let's be clear that herbs are medicine. So if you don't know what you're doing with herbs, if you're relying on Google, not to invoke fear, but just be aware, just be mindful how you do what you do. And then I'll say it is a true, valid form of energy medicine.
It is.
There's been sessions where women get to calling and releasing things that I have to open doors and windows for. Like, you have to have a certain awareness. I'm an ordained interfaith minister. So I was ministering before I started doing this work,
Right.
which was a divine setup because it's spiritual work. Releasing stuff from your body, from your womb. I tell women, be very mindful. I learned this when I was developing the blueprint before I ever had a practitioner, because I trained and certified. And I was in my office trying to treat myself, because at that time it was nobody else to do it. Me, God,
yeah.
in the pot.
That's it.
And I was having a blockage. I felt this weight on my chest. And my daughter's father, this is when we were together, he was in the living room watching TV. My office door was closed. He stood up, came in the office, sat down, put his hands over my chest and said, "Let it out." He got the memo in the other room that I needed him. I didn't even know to ask him for his help. But see, that's what happens when you get in sacred spaces like that. God sends you what you need.
What you need.
But if you just looking for something superficial and surface, that's what you're going to get.
That's it.
That's what you're going
You
to
got
get.
to really ask for what you need. And that was one of the things I had to learn, even investing in myself. You know, a lot of times you probably get this where women reach out, they want the services, and then they may say, "Oh, I don't think I can afford it." So it's almost like
I used to get that. Yeah, I used to get that a lot.
And it's like, what's that about? And I know for me, I didn't believe that I deserved.
Come on, there's an epidemic of unworthiness amongst women.
That's it. So some of you guys, where I think about the price, the investment I paid for life coaching, I'm like, how am I going to come up with it? But I had to change the language that I was using, because it's like, God, you gave me the resources.
How about it?
Uber, Lyft, Instacart. I made it happen.
Yeah.
But I had to change the language and start to believe I did deserve more. And once I started to do that, the investment that I put out, my business out of the blue, just tripled where people was calling, wanting to sign their kids up. And I'm
I
like,
would look at
what
Lonnie's
just
post and be
happened?
like, she got 1,000 likes on this thing. This girl is slaying it on social media. I watch.
Yeah.
I can't always keep up, but I do. When I catch it, I'm like, oh, she is blowing up. I'm so proud of you. So happy for you.
Thank you. And that's that believing. I just didn't know. And that's that healing. That's why I tell people it's so important to heal, because you're actually holding your own blessings. Like, it's not being
have what you don't
released.
see for yourself.
That's it.
And you said you talk about changing the language, and it made me start thinking about, well, what compels us to say the things we say? And it's our mentality.
It's the mentality.
So a lot of us, have a poverty mindset.
Because we grew up in it. We watched
But
our
just
grandmothers.
because something is your experience doesn't mean it's the truth.
It's,
So I've experienced pain, but I am not going to live a life of pain.
No.
No.
I
came to have ridiculous joy.
Come on now.
And the God I walk with said I can have exceedingly abundantly above what I could ever ask, think, or imagine. God said, I came for you, Thema, so that you could live life more abundantly. So why do I have to settle for the idea that I got to live a life of pain just because I've had the experience?
That's it.
I've caught a cold too. Does that mean every day I expect to have a cold? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
That's it.
if we can practice changing our mindset and really cultivating a higher vision for ourselves, if you can see it, it's yours. Look at the people that came out the gutter and are out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at the Jay-Z's in the hood and now has amassed so much wealth, he can bail people out of jail, right? So somewhere in his mind, he decided that no matter what is happening outside of me, I am going to make it.
That's it. It clicked.
And because it clicked, he's making it.
That's it.
I don't know who's listening. I don't know what's going on in your life, but your click is listening to this conversation right now.
Absolutely. That aha moment has to.
Yes, it has to happen for you. And once you choose it, because here's the other thing I must say. Sometimes we think healing is an emotion. This ain't about your feelings. You know, a lot of times, sometimes I could be a gutter minister. So sometimes I have to tell people, F your feelings. This ain't about your feelings.
At all.
What is your truth?
Do
I feel wealthy every day? Do I feel like holding space for people? Do I always feel worthy of the mantle God has put on my life? No. I'm a Gemini too. You can talk to me at 9 a.m. and by 9:15 it is completely different. However, I do not alter my truth because my truth is not based on my feelings.
That's it.
It's not by my might, but by his spirit.
That's it.
Thus saith the Lord.
That's it.
And the word of God over my life is so powerful and rich that even on my worst day, I can stand on it.
That's it.
So my truth is I am raw unapologetic power even on my worst day.
That's it.
And I walk in that. So yeah, thank you.
And you walk in it.
What was it like for you when you finally gained the freedom?
Oh.
What did that feel like for you?
It just felt, oh my goodness, it just felt so good. Like, I am not my mother.
Ooh! Oh, girl, I will run through this place.
Yes.
Stop it. Don't get me started. Do not get me
Yes.
started.
I am not my
Ooh,
mother.
that's so rich.
And what resonated with me, and I talked about it in my book, is about the broken bond. That, my mom was on drugs. She was a heroin addict. All this stuff that I kind of went through in the womb, and just having that experience coming out, being addicted to that drug, and just having those things put on me. You're going to be just like your mother. You're going to have a lot of kids, them casual curses and all of that, but they did not know what God had for me, because he said it in his word. I'm like, did you not read Jeremiah 29:11? Did you forget that verse?
I was with God before I was with my mama.
That's it. That was it.
Oh, that's so good.
And because those words stuck with me, I thought I was her. And the moment in that session, and I had to release her from me, is when I really got free. It was like, wow.
I love it.
I'm not her. I am me. And then I started to look at my birth certificate. So that's why I talk about the birth certificate so much, because your name is at the top. So you already hold ownership.
Yes.
You hold power. Who's at the middle? Your parents. So yeah, God used them to get you here, but you at the top.
Yes.
So he already knew he was going to have plans for you. He didn't switch around the names. So I even teach my children, like, whose name at the top?
Right.
That's
He's
all
sovereign
you.
in your life.
That's it. It's not about me or what I didn't do, what dad didn't do. What are you going to do? How are you going to show up to the world for you and be free and stand in your authentic space? Because you can't go around and say, my mother ain't do, my father ain't do. God already knew that. You couldn't pick them. He picked them.
Before you even got here.
Before you even got here.
My spiritual father, my Baba, would say, baby, before you was in your mother's womb, you were with God.
That's it.
And when you decided to come here to class, you had already had a conversation with God. Yeah, give me that mama and that daddy. That's going to help me fulfill my destiny. Give me that experience. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. When you were in your mother's womb, you were downloading all the information you needed to know about how to do this class called Earth.
That's it.
And when you were born, that started your journey of remembering who you are.
That's it.
And all you got to accomplish in this life, I think everybody's purpose is the same, Lonnie. I ain't got no evidence for this thought, but it's my truth.
It's the truth.
I think it's just two simple reasons. We are here to know who we are in our core and be that.
And be that.
And that's it. You don't have, I mean, the accomplishments, the titles, all that stuff is cool, but
it's cool, but
they
don't define you.
Yeah,
it don't. It really don't. And people live off those things.
They do.
You know, I got a master's and I got this, and
I'm
like,
a wife.
Yeah, and it's like, okay.
I'm a mother.
I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Those are titles.
That's great.
But who are you?
Right.
Let's get to
When
that.
you're not
part.
doing stuff for anybody else,
Who are you?
what does it really look like? And for a lot of women, they have deep sadness they won't acknowledge. And so they fill their life and crowd their life with so much.
So much. And that's why you find the people who's Betty Crocker over here, you sewing over
The
here.
Stepford Wives,
You-
honey. And all.
You be like, what you doing now, sugar?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you're doing too much because you're running from yourself.
You
Running from
ain't
yourself.
set with yourself.
It's an interesting journey, and everybody has their own entry point to healing. Some people, it takes a physical crisis for you to get still
Yeah.
and say, what's my life really about? But some people, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual.
It just
You
hits
know,
you different ways.
But we're all, what's beautiful about this thing in this conversation is that we're all on the path.
That's
We're all on a journey. And as long as you have breath in your body, it's not too late to make a change.
It's not
It's not too late to learn something new.
at all.
It's not.
So how can they reach you? Like,
So you can go to thewombsauna.com, thewombsauna.com, or you can just go in your Google search bar and type in the womb sauna. We will dominate the first 15 plus pages. You will find me, I promise.
they at the Google, Google number one. I'm telling you.
Our impact is real and viable in the marketplace, thank God. And when you go to thewombsauna.com, you can subscribe to my list and get a free guided I Am Healed meditation. So if you need to take the information you heard tonight and sit with it and do something, you want to go into action, go ahead and subscribe to my email list and get that free guided meditation. You can also find me on Facebook. I love Facebook. I'm on Facebook more than anywhere else. I enjoy the exchange. We have a Facebook group called Let the Womb Be Heard with over 1,000 women, and we take our masks off and we have really open, honest conversations. And then I'm also on YouTube. We have over 250 videos, meditations, mini lectures, inspiring content that you can connect with and subscribe to our YouTube page. And so that's how you can.
And
stay
Instagram.
connected. Oh, and we're all over the web. LinkedIn, all of the social media sites. Most importantly, though, if you know that you really need to break through and have somebody hold sacred space for you, I invite you to come pop that squat on my pot.
Yes.
Invest. There are 3-session bundles, 6-session bundles, 12-session bundles. I have women who book me for the whole year.
Oh, yeah.
Every month.
Because they understand how important it is.
After one session, I've had women have one session and whatever was happening in their body never occurred again. And we're years later.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful experience. It changed my life. And so I invite you to experience the womb saunas method of yoni steaming and have the experience. We're headquartered in Riverdale, Maryland. And we have some Groupon specials going on right now if you need that financial incentive.
Yes, go ahead to Groupon.
Go snag our Groupon and connect. It's time to do the work. Yeah. It will work if you work it.
Oh, you said it. You said it. Let me tell you.
Is that the benediction?
That's the benediction, y'all. Because I always tell people can be the most amazing person, the best coach, the best life, holistic wellness, everything. But if you don't do your part.
Hello.
Because I see so many people say, well, I was working with this person. I don't really think they did. And I'm like, well,
what was they
supposed to do?
I tell women up front, I'm not your healer.
Mm-mm.
I just am holding the space for you to heal yourself.
That's it.
I can't do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself.
You you gotta come willing to put it all on the table. Mm-hmm. You're holding it back, and you just gotta do the work. My homework assignments that I had to do them. Girl. Did I always want to do them? No.
But see, that's the blessing of having a cultural witness. Because it offers accountability. So my clients, after this session, they get regimens. We have a whole plan. I had one woman whose womb was full of fibroids, and I told her, listen, to change your body, you need to forgive your father. I taught her a process of how to do that, and I said, go back to your doctors in like 3 months. She called me screaming. She said, Thema, my fibroids are so small they could barely find them. She said, I didn't change my diet yet. I didn't even get to that other physical stuff. No, your body is being obedient to your consciousness. I get to the root of it. Because by the time the physical manifestation comes, it's because the spiritual, emotional issue has been unresolved for too long. So the body says, if I scream high blood pressure, will you change? If I scream diabetes, will you finally accept you not living the life of your dreams? If I scream infertility, will you recognize that you got some ancestral work to do? So we can change our experiences when we become mindful about healing and being intentional about taking care of ourselves.
And that's so important, you guys. So I know it was on your New Year's resolution to drop a few pounds, but it's pounds for real.
What you holding.
It's what you holding, not just about the shape of the body and the snatch waist or this, that. No, it's way bigger than that. So you guys, please reach out. It is important. And also, can you share with them about your training and certification program?
Absolutely. So we have been training women worldwide. We've invested in technology. And we have an online university, the wombsaunauniversity.com. We are actually recruiting practitioners. We do not have enough hands on deck. And so if you feel passionate about holding space for women, please submit an application. It's free to do that. We will have our university coordinator have a quick conversation with you and make sure that you understand what it's like to train online and how our course curriculum is set up. You have an apprenticeship at the end and get practice with women and submit their feedback, and then you graduate and you get to do this work. And all of my students, we're like family. Every year we go down to Florida and mastermind and run on the beach and do our womb rituals together. And we have an amazing time, and I teach them not only how to be passionate about the work, but be profitable in it as well. And so if you feel like this is part of your path, we usually get people who feel a pull in their spirit definitely reach out to us about becoming a practitioner.
Yes, that's amazing, you guys. So that's like serious stuff. That's serious.
Yeah, it's a
so that's
powerful-
good. It's good. So what events do you have coming up?
Oh, girl. Lois, look, I need my assistant with
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah, with
Run it
Paris,
down. Paris
Paris.
roll the scroll out.
Yeah, she don't be playing. She be on it. Paris
She
be
runs
on it.
my life, and I thank God that she
Yes,
does.
love you, Paris.
Yes, Paris. So, one of the big things that we did last year is Elevation Weekend. It's a healing retreat that we do out in Marriottsville, Maryland at Bond Secures Retreat and Conference Center. Over 300 acres of sacred land and beautiful just energy. It's so beautiful. And we are bringing Elevation Weekend back again. And so go to myelevationweekend.com and see our retreat. One of the biggest things that they loved last year is we did a ritual around receiving divine masculine energy. So you know what I did? I brought in these powerful healing brothers.
Right.
And I told the women, I said, listen, I don't know what man hurt you before, but these brothers are going to stand in front of you and close the gap and hold the space for you to heal and receive positive masculine energy. Girl, and women started hitting the floor. I said, we need ushers next year. I said, we need ushers and some white cloths.
Can I be an usher?
They couldn't believe, for a lot of those women, that was the first, can you believe this? That was the first time, Lonnie, that they had ever had a man hold space for them like that.
Wow.
Not their daddies, not their uncles, not any previous lovers. I mean, it was so powerful. The video footage from that went viral, over 100,000 views.
Wow.
Because it was so potent. People were so thirsty to see men and women come together and do healing like that. And so, yeah, Elevation Weekend is...
So when is it?
It's going to be in August.
Please
August.
mark your calendars, you guys.
myelevationweekend.com. It's going to be in August.
Please mark your calendars.
We're
and
already
you owe
planning
it to
for
yourself.
next year too. Yeah.
Okay. Did you already have the event? I was the event that you wanted me to attend.
That was yesterday.
That was the yesterday
Girl,
one.
I wanted you there so good. It was so good. We literally, you know me, I'm very what's the word I want to use? Very candid. So if I'm going to have sisters work on cultivating authentic sisterhood, you know what I told them to do? I said, bring a woman in the room that you got to beef with. I'm going to show you on site how to resolve conflict in a powerful way.
Yes.
And it was beautiful to see women actually like have conversations, flush things out. I told you about the tapping over the heart. And I wanted you in the room because you also create sacred spaces for women. So I was like, we as women in leadership, you know, I don't think we have enough time for me to talk about the women empowerment politics.
No, you do.
Oh, I do? Okay. So, you know, as women in leadership, I've been in enough different communities to see the inauthenticity. And I made a decision that I would not do anything about it. Like, once I know something like that exists, I'm vexed until I do something positive about, you know. And so I'm sitting here in rooms of women who, in front of the audience, are, hey sis, and hugging and kissing, and then in the hallway not even speaking. But you on this stage talking about empowerment of women.
My God.
That's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You know, it's inauthentic.
And we see that a lot in the women's empowerment arena now.
Oh, I didn't know how bad it was
Yeah.
until I started traveling and moving. I've seen women hurt each other at the very events that are designed to help them connect and heal. And so I could not rest until I did something about it. So yesterday we talked about how it all begins and ends with you. It's hard to trust other people when you don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
And so you go out in the world as if you're not safe, assuming that everybody is there to hurt you or do something to you. But the truth is, you just haven't made peace with yourself, and maybe you didn't get what you needed from your mama. And so now you have unhealthy attachments and codependent behaviors with other women. Right, and then I put some empowerment leaders in the room. That's why I wanted you there, but we'll do it again.
We're going to do it again.
To talk about what it's like from a leadership perspective to have to be in service mode to women. Sometimes you don't even like them. Can we keep it 100
Yeah, all the way.
Do you know what that's like? Have you encountered that in your work?
Oh, yeah, because I've been in places where I guess I get frustrated when I see the Instagram people, you're giving, hey sis, and and this and that, and we gotta stay together, and then I see you in person, and that's not what you
Like
give
I haven't even heard from you
at all,
Yeah.
or you don't speak, or I've seen you out, and then I'm a little in my feelings because I'm like, oh, you're not practicing what you preach, and you got so many other women who's counting on you. And because they're not where they need to be, any little attention, any little thing that look good, they take it.
snatch it.
They snatch it.
So this is one of the questions that came up in the class yesterday. I would love to hear your perspective on it. One of the empowerment leaders said, what do I do when I know I'm called to serve women and hold space for them, but I am completely exhausted?
I think, and that's a good question because that's
real.
It's real. You exhausted, but why are you exhausted? Let's look at your plate.
Ooh, that's good.
Because you may have too much food on your plate that doesn't need to be there. That doesn't make sense for you to consume. So even in my arena of my dance, I just had to make a huge decision of taking something off my plate because the exhaustion or the anxiety that's saying, God, for me to do this, and this that I know you will want me to do, what is causing me strain that I can't eat this? So let me take it off because you called me to do the work. I can't operate in alignment if something is pulling me and I'm the anxiety and I'm frustrated, my energy is being drained, I'm being and so you guys, you have to look at that. When you know you want your, like you called. You know you called.
And for me, you know what? And I've said this, you've probably heard me say it before. I feel like my greatest call is to myself. And because I share myself with the world, they get to witness how I care for myself. It just so happens other people get blessed. I didn't start the womb sauna for other women's wombs. I was trying to heal myself. And then once I accomplished that, I said, oh, I should probably let other people know about what worked for me. I think sometimes we get lost in the work because we've taken it outside of ourselves. You know, it's suddenly become like we have this codependent relationship with the marketplace. I need you or else my life is not complete, or I'm not in purpose or in alignment with my purpose. But what if your purpose is to be you and then the world gets to witness that?
Right.
You know?
And you guys, that's a huge revelation just to end with. Is just at the end of the day, it goes back to
it all begins and ends with you.
So you guys, this has been
awesome.
a beautiful, beautiful session. I'm excited. So please reach out if you know that you need healing, you identify what we were talking about tonight, reach out. You know, she gave you all her beautiful information. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly. It's powerful. So thank you again for everybody out there. This is your girl, Lonnie. Your inspirator and your motivator, your author, your life coach, your speaker, all these wonderful titles, but great. So I'll see you here next weekend. Next week, right? Yeah, next week. I'm not here on the weekend.
Maybe
next month, I maybe want to be. Next week on Monday, same time, same place. Love you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Ba-da-da-da.